When I was conducting an interview about the hip-hop culture as a part of my school assignment, I found that most of my answers could be summed up as, hip-hop is just some silly dance, or it's just rap with a lot of profanity. What a misconception! Over these past few months that I've been studying hip-hop, I've realized that at its core, it is so much more than just mere entertainment. It is a constantly evolving cultural and artistic phenomenon that has transcended ethnic boundaries and become a reflection of the social, political, and economic realities in this country and around the world. So today I'd like to begin our hip-hop tour off by taking a closer look at the roots of this movement in the South Bronx in the late 60s and early 70s. Then we'll crash a neighborhood jam to investigate the four fundamental elements of hip-hop: DJing, MCing, b-boying, and graffiti. Our next stop will be New York's hottest club, Roxy. And finally, we'll discuss how hip-hop has become a cross-cultural and international sensation. Our hip-hop tour begins in the South Bronx in the late 60s and early 70s. At that time in American history, the South Bronx was a sore sight of desolate urban landscape, neglect, and burned buildings. Thriving businesses were scared off, and existing factories left the borough, taking jobs with them. Disrepair, crime, gangs, slumlords, and poverty ruled the neighborhood. But it wasn't just the buildings that were burning the Bronx. The youth was burning with the desire to leave its mark on the world. The youth of the South Bronx had nothing but time, energy, and creativity. Hip-hop was born out of nothing, at these block parties and jams, where the spirit was all-inclusive and the aggression was taken to the dance floor. In the South Bronx, African-American and Puerto Rican kids were flocking towards the sound of records played by neighborhood DJs in city parks or block parties. Some of the most famous DJs were Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, and Grandmaster Flash. DJ Kool Herc is credited with originating hip-hop music. He used two records on two turntables to repeat the instrumental portion of a song that emphasized the drum beat. This DJing style quickly became popular and was taken by other DJs such as Africa Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash, who improved upon the scratching technique. Now back then, it was very important for DJs to find just the right record that other DJs didn't have. Bambaataa, who is known as the master of records, would often be followed by wannabe DJs in hopes of buying the same records as he did. So, as a prank, he'd get some Hare Krishna. It had beats, but not the right kind for a hip-hop jam. Now most DJs created their music by grabbing a big pot and mixing together different musical ingredients. There'd be some beats of funk, then some flavor of disco, followed by a splash of rock, a sprinkle of rhythm and blues, a touch of swing, and then spice it all up with reggae. Voila! Crowd pleaser is ready to be served. Now to help the crowd have even more fun at their parties, DJs would start talking over the beat of the music, using short phrases as if talking to friends. Something like, say ho, or throw your hands up in the air. This became known as MCing. A little encouragement went a long way to keep the energy high and flowing at the party. However, MCs use their talents not only to pump up the jam, but also to bring up serious issues like racism, inequality, war, death, and so on. The crowd loved it, and MCing was rapidly gaining popularity. Eventually, DJs lost their status of rock stars to MC artists and moved from the limelight into the shadows behind the scenes. Now, it was MCs who rocked the party. Spin those records round and round. Come on, B-boys, hit the ground. Party all day, party all night. Only got one life, gotta live it right. And of course, a party wasn't really a party without dancing. Boys and girls without any formal dance training rocked the dance floor with their innovative moves, using dance as a way to express themselves. DJ Kool Herc was the first one to call them B-boys or B-girls since they danced to the beat. Now there are four fundamental components to a breakdance. The top rock generally refers to any string of steps in a standing position, performed with rhythm and style. Footwork is performed literally on the floor, either on hands and knees or with the whole body on the floor. A freeze is a move that halts all body motion in an interesting or contorted position. It is often used to taunt or intimidate the opponent. And power moves, also known as show-off moves. They are extremely difficult to master and look very extravagant, often serving as a centerpiece of a routine. To execute them, a dance relies on speed, momentum, acrobatic ability, and strength. B-boys and B-girls use dance as a way to express themselves, release tension, and to tell their stories. One of the most controversial elements of hip-hop is graffiti. We've all seen tags, the stylized signatures made in spray paint or marker, defacing or vandalizing city property. However, there's another side to graffiti. Graffiti writer Band2 says this is art, taken to a subway level. He refers to graffiti pieces, also known as large complex drawings. Now, some graffiti writers choose to have their work displayed in galleries, where one piece might go for thousands of dollars, like Lady Pink's or Banksy's. But most graffiti writers prefer using the streets as their studios. They think it's the best way to reach a broader audience with their message. In the 80s, hip-hop moved from uptown in the Bronx to the downtown Manhattan nightclub and gallery scene. It found home in New York's hottest club, Roxy, where all four elements came together. Graffiti writers did graph pieces live on stage, while DJs spun their stories, MCs spun their records, and B-boys and B-girls spun themselves. Music historian Mark Katz compares Roxy to an incubator. It was a temporary home, but its warmth and nurturing environment allowed hip-hop to take flight. And it sure did when in 1982, regular Roxy artists went on the first international hip-hop tour to England and France. It was a huge success and captured audiences worldwide. Hip-hop moved from the streets to the stage, TV screens, and media, where it reached millions of people. It has become a lifestyle for many people worldwide. The clothing, art, music, mannerisms, and lexicon are the same in France, South Korea, Nicaragua, Russia, the United States, and an array of other countries. Hip-hop is the poetry of the street, the expression of love, joy, pain, anger, anguish, dream, and everything else. It represents the spirit and consciousness of urban youth that cannot be ignored. So I hope now, after learning a bit more about hip-hop and its culture, you'll have a better understanding of it as a whole. Thank you.